Okay, hey everybody, welcome to today's strategy session webinar here at Inside Real Estate. Recordings are at insiderealestate.com/webinars. If you ever need them, here's a big list of the ones we've done recently. Hours and hours and hours of action-packed real estate strategy content for you. So share this playlist with people on your team and your friends. We also post the replays and other announcements in the Facebook group at insiderealestate.com/Facebook group. If you're watching the replay on YouTube, smash the like button and hit the notification bell so you're notified anytime we post updates about KV Core and these strategy sessions, everything that's going on at Inside Real Estate's YouTube channel. So what we're going to do today is some lender success strategies. We had a request yesterday to talk about some lender stuff. So said, hey, let's brush up. I figured let's brush up on the functionality, which is what I tried to do this morning. I also invited Susan here, who's our Director of Product Communications, I think is the title, who in some ways, in a lot of ways, will probably have a lot more in-depth knowledge of some of this functionality than I do. So Susan's going to help me out if you guys stump me with questions. So can somebody just let me know that you can hear me in the chat, and we'll kind of dig right on in here and talk about some of the lender-related stuff here with KV Core. Hi, Bob. So first off, we'll just jump right in and talk about how to add a lender. I have that right up top. Maybe that should be, let's put this bullet point here. And let's talk first about why you would work with a lender on a system like KV Core. Some of this stuff is going to be obvious, but I do notice that co-marketing or working with a lender in the system is kind of an underutilized thing. A lot of people don't get around to doing this, but it's a really powerful thing you could be doing. So first off, of course, your leads need financing. And I would say that with respect to generating and converting leads and building your business, your lender can be really helpful in creating the type of content and just being there to help work your leads and follow up and get them to convert. And another big reason why people work with lenders in a system like KV Core is for co-marketing ad spend, right? Where you have your lender contribute 50-50, a portion of the ad spend in a RESPA compliant way to pay for the system and other advertising. So if you're not already doing this, you're probably leaving some money and some opportunity on the table. I want to add a thing here, some things to consider when picking a lender, because this last point brings up something. I know that out there in the world here, a lot of agents will pick a lender just because they are willing to spend some money on advertising. And I just want to caution there that one thing to consider with that is that you're better off working with somebody who you know, like, and trust, and who also is tech savvy at the same time. So just don't toss anybody in there. Needs to be a bit tech savvy and engaged with tech, right? Engaged with tech. Also, don't just work with anyone who will write a check. I think lenders would agree with this too, because they get it from their side. A lot of agents will solicit them, to work with them on a system to get more or less get a look at the lead flow and get an opportunity to do the mortgage. But really, the agent's only coming at them because they want help with the spend, and then there's no loyalty from the agent. So you just basically want to pick someone you trust and can be loyal to. I know this goes without saying, but I like to bring it up. So by a show of hands in the chat, who does have a lender added to your system? Just curious, like how many people here actually actively work the system with a lender? Or if you're a lender, just chat in and say. My guess is going to be not as many as Rich does, Andy does. Okay. Well, the guys who participate, they've got lenders. But I think a lot of people haven't gotten around to this. So let me show you where this happens. I'm pretty sure, Susan, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure you do need to have access to the admin account. So you might need to have your team leader or an admin at your company add the lender and attach the lender to you. I don't think agents can just go in and straight up add this in. Right here, great question, Luann. I'll get to that. And team admins can too. But basically, you go right up to your name right up here. You click, and you'll see this section if you're an admin where it says lenders. You get to a page like this, and you can add in the details about the lender, their company name, give them a password, other contact info. And as you can see, you can show their stuff on your website if you want to optionally. So you can put their NMLS license number there, things like that. And you can also give them admin access to specific offices and teams within your company. So there are a lot of cases where the lenders actually do a lot of the management of the system, and they kind of take the lead with the system. So in those cases, you might want to make them an admin. So that's where to do it and how to do it. If you want a lender added and attached to you, I think you just need to talk to your admin about how to get that done. Now, let's talk about what lenders can do in the system and what the lender experience is. Again, you can forward this recording to your lender, but it's good for you to know from the agent side too. I know we probably have mostly agents on right now, just what this looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and log into a lender account in another window here. I'll slide it on over in a second. Lender. I just don't want to show our back end here. Just go to the new screen. There we go. So the lender experience is going to be pretty similar when they first log in to an agent experience. And I was hoping to get some recent contact activity right here. I may need to sign in as another agent, but basically any leads that a lender has that has been shared to a lender or that came in and was kind of routed and connected to a lender will show up in the activity stream right here. So if you guys don't mind, let me bring in a more live account. I think it makes sense to do here. Let's try this one. Because I think this is important, and this is one of the biggest ways that I've seen and that I kind of recommend to lenders that they work it. This is just randomly has an EXP logo on it, but I think this is just an example account with a lot of data in here. Yeah, so as the lender, you can actually see all of the activity stream of the people, the agents that you're connected to, the offices you're connected to, and all of the contact activity that you have. And one of the things I recommend with lenders is that you simply cherry pick this activity stream and you work it. To try to sift leads. So I know some offices will just have maybe on the mortgage side of things, we'll just have one body who's kind of an ISA type who will sit and look at this all day long. And as they see people searching, attempt to make calls or chat or send people emails and say, hey, I noticed you were looking. Do you want to get pre-approved and do those kind of things? So that's kind of the really easy, basic way to do things. Lenders, I do believe, have access to calls and tasks. They can work contacts in the Smart CRM, similar to the way that an agent can, and they can share notes. These appear to be live leads, so I don't want to mess with them, but they can share notes with their agent contact. That's correct, right, Susan? Let me add a note here. Add note, yeah. And then right here, you can see how it'll CC the agent right here. And I believe from the agent side, there's a CC lender, or maybe the lender just automatically sees all the notes. So right here, they can just type something in if they've had a contact, and then CC agent will let the agent know that something happened. Another thing that kind of is an overlooked Easter egg in the system, not really specific to lenders, but did you know you can actually pin notes to the top of the timeline? That's a really useful thing, like especially if you have an ISA or an assistant who's calling leads for you, and you kind of get the life story about the lead, what they're up to, what their situation is. You can pin that so it's evergreen up top. So every time you talk to the lead, you have some details right there. So that's a really cool feature as well. Right there. Lenders can also, I'm just going to kind of go down the list here. They can also see the listings, I believe, that the agents they work with have access to, and they can do, I think, some promotion of those listings if they want to. So they can email listings to their contacts, I think. Don't quote me on that. And I thought, yeah, Property Boost, I don't think lenders can run Property Boost directly, but there are lenders who kind of share the expense of Property Boost and have figured out a way to do that. I think they usually run that from their agent accounts and figure out how to do that. But just an idea there. Since in theory, all of the lead flow coming in from you that is also going to be available to the lender to work from a pre-qualification side of things, it would make sense, for a lender to kind of dedicate some budget to that. And in fact, I'll share this document over. It's going to have some resource links at the bottom. I did a whole webinar with a lender who focuses almost exclusively on that approach, on doing property boosts. So let me give you this right here. Everybody in the chat. And good point. Susan's saying, lender can't own leads, so that's why they can't boost. Makes sense. The lender doesn't own the lead; it's shared to them, and they can't. They don't really have. It makes total sense. They don't really have permission to market the listing when you think about it. So yeah, that's why they can't boost. So what a lot of lenders have done, I shared the doc here, and I have a link to a virtual training summit about lenders and property boosts. You'll hear a lender out in California talk about how he kind of has navigated turned property boost into a great lead source for his agent partners and for himself. And he's actually taking the initiative to help make sure that the property boosts are run for his agents, because the actual resulting lead flow has been really beneficial to him. Those are the best leads he's gotten in terms of being able to convert them into mortgage pre-approval. And I got to share this link. I always make that mistake. I got to share it to everybody. There we go. Here's everybody. Here you go, everybody. Zoom makes it easy to make that mistake. All right. So that's listings. Let's jump back in here. In Marketing Autopilot, lenders do have a few default campaigns available to them. So if you go to Smart Campaigns, you'll see here there are two system campaigns. It's the default lender and a campaigns here. And if the lender wants to, they can go in, they can add these to their library, and then they can go and edit the actual templates within if they want. But you'll see there's some content here related to pre-approval, low credit score, but the lenders can edit this and change out some of the stuff there. In Marketing Autopilot. Another key thing while we're talking about Marketing Autopilot is that agents, you should be integrating your lender's links and calls to action. So if your lender has a great webinar about some kind of financing option, or if they just have their 1003, is that what they're called, their application link somewhere online, it would be a good idea to put that link in all your Smart Campaign emails. You can even put those in your own email signature and say, hey, do you need financing? Click here to go to, John Doe, my preferred lender, and get pre-approved now. So that's just something, if you're not already doing that and you're working closely with a lender, that's an easy thing you could do, is add them to your email signatures and your Smart Campaign signatures. And we also did recently add a feature where you can have your signature automatically included at the bottom of all Smart Campaign emails. That setting should be in the settings section. Susan, I know you know where that is. That's in website or in profile. So that would be a really easy thing to do. Go in your own profile. Where's that new setting that allows people to automatically add their signature to all Smart Campaigns? So you could add, what I'm talking about here is in your profile. You go into your signature and you say, P.S. if you need financing, go to my lender here. Right? And it's actually right above the signature. Cool. I'm in a lender account, so I'm not seeing it. But you guys just know you can toggle that on. It's a cool new feature that you have access to. But since I'm in a lender account, it's not doing that. It appears. Yeah. Susan will probably. You should let the guys know to just. I think that would make sense to let the lenders do, right? If they're sending Smart Campaigns, let their profiles go out too. So we'll get that added for lenders. Okay. So lenders can participate in the creation of Smart Campaigns. Another thing lenders can do, the next item here, right, linking lead sources. I believe lenders can pull leads in from third-party sources. So I think you can import, and you can use the lead Dropbox. So there is some ability for a lender to say, hey, I want to use KV Core as a CRM and kind of take those contacts in from other sources and work them alongside the leads that they have coming from their agents. That's kind of a nice extra thing they can do. Lenders can also create, not for themselves, not yet, as far as I know, but they can create landing pages and squeeze links for their lender partners. And this is one of the big ways I see lenders co-marketing, the ones who are a little more tech savvy, is they'll go and they'll create, say, squeeze link for one of their lender partners, and then they'll help market it for them. They might share it on social media, the kind of things that we talk about, but they can go and do it for specific lenders of the companies they're attached to. So definitely, if you have a lender who's pretty marketing savvy, show them this webinar, explain to them, hey, you could be every day kind of helping us post our listings, and any lead we generate through our system, you're going to be able to work. You're going to see all those leads and be able to work them from the activity stream. So very big kind of key point that lenders can participate, way that lenders can participate. Cool. So that was kind of the broad strokes of what a lender can do. Next, I'm just going to show you a few resources and maybe talk about some strategies, some more strategies for how you guys might work together, a lender and an agent. So first thing I want to point out is that there is the lender course in the learning portal. So if I go to the learning portal, there's the bottom left here. Taking a second to load up. And then I'll click on, it's actually right up top here. There's a course introducing KV Core to your lender. But you can see if I click into KV Core, there's a whole section for lenders. So there's a lender getting started course, and then we have a new one in progress about introducing your lender to KV Core. And it's possible, I believe lenders can see all the content that's in the learning portal. But let's just see here. Interesting. So I'm waiting for this course to load. It looks like Thinkific, our learning platform that we use here, is lagging a little bit today, the service we use. And there are some, I believe, agent-focused learning portal courses as well. So I'm going to bring those up here in another window. Susan, can you still hear me? It looks like, I don't know if it's just my internet or if it's just this learning portal going slow. Okay, good. Sorry guys, this thing is molasses today. So check out the learning portal. There's a couple of lender courses. There's one about how to get your lender excited. I think we have a course that has a lot of the co-marketing strategy stuff in there, a few different things that are lender related. And then your lender actually has a quick start course that they can go through as well. This lender getting started that they can check out. So just for whatever reason, it seems to have slowed down that specific platform for a minute. Okay, Bob's is working. Might just be me. You know what it could be? I log into this from 5 different accounts. I'm an admin, and then I log in from 8 accounts. I could be just confusing the whole platform just in my environment. Okay. So definitely check out the learning portal courses. There is a 2x success training. So there's basically a success plan for lenders, and then 2 times a week, your lenders can hop on a live webinar that basically walks them through things they can be doing. So that link is available from that lender success plan for your lenders. So I would share this to you guys, but I think they should just access it from that course. Tell them to go in and check it out. Make sure they show up. It looks like they happen Mondays and Fridays. Make sure they show up and at least get familiar if they're going to be working the system. If they want access to your lead flow, you should almost require that of them, that they show up to the lender meeting. So Susan's dropping the link. So there you go. Cool. So let's talk about some of these co-marketing strategies, some things that you might do with your lender. I talked about adding your lender's application or call to action to a signature. Definitely, this is one that's probably underutilized, but you should probably create a text response code that can be added to all your sign riders on your listings. That's something like how to get financing, get a low down payment mortgage for this house, whatever your lender's, comfortable with. It could just be, get financing for this property, and then use the text code option here. So we go to lead engine, and we're going to go to, I got to log in. Lenders don't have access to the text codes. Okay. So you would need to do this with them. But you could create a text code for your lender that offers their financing link. And maybe just make it something like financing, get funded, something like that, get a loan, money, right? House money. So I'll go to lead engine. Here, I'll do one now. Call capture. But this alone, if you're trying to get a lender to participate and get all excited about working with you, right? This one seems like a no-brainer to me. You go and you make a code that says house money, and then great, just click this link to get the process started, and I'll hook my my buddy Shane up here, Bond Street Mortgage application, and that'll take them back through his link anytime somebody texts house money. And now what you do is you would, of course, take this code and buy some sign writers and append that to the bottom of your signs. Of course, you could do the same exact thing on the back of your open house flyers, anywhere you're advertising a listing. In theory, you could use that same code. And what this is going to do is going to generate direct leads for your lender. Now, one thing I'm not clear at, because I haven't tested this yet, I'm pretty sure the lender would see those leads come in. As they come in, I do know you can set a hashtag. So I'll call this house money hashtag. But if not, as they come in, you might just need to share that lead over to your lender. So, but not a big deal. But this is definitely a big one that I don't see a lot of people doing, that you can start doing right away. And of course, for a lender who's working with an office who's got really big inventory, I mean, almost instantly, this is a lot of action and a lot of activity. So, you know, the quid pro quo there is hey, I'm going to do this for you. I need you to, in that case, you know, that's where you're reciprocating. Say, hey, I'd like for you to help take on some of the marketing budget here. Of course, in a RESPA compliant way, which we'll talk about in a second. Okay, link to your lender's offers from bridge pages. So I've done a number of webinars and talk about this approach where anytime somebody opts into a landing page or an offer, that it's not a bad idea, since the next step in the process is to get financed. So if somebody opts into this, it's like one of my landing pages, test lead. There's no reason why the page after this can't be something like, hey, so I usually do my video here, but it could be, hey, I sent you the list of properties that you requested. That's coming to your email. But before you do that, you should be aware that the first step in the process of buying a house, of course, is to get some money, right? Get pre-approved. So you would do a video about this and say, fortunately, I've got a great guy, a great shop that I work with. And if you click the link down below, you'll go straight to their application and get pre-approved right away. So this would be something, I'm not currently doing this, but this would be something that you could do to really get your lender excited and involved and make it seamless, so the leads that they're participating in generating are actually going through some of their assets and their flows. And of course, you benefit, because these leads that you're getting, as soon as they go and hit up the pre-approval link of your lender, it's going to come right back to you as a pre-qualified, pre-approved buyer. So it cuts out some of the steps in the process. So link to your lender's offers from bridge pages. You could also do, like, if you're doing niche things, like one of my favorites is if I'm offering a list of fixer-uppers, you could then send them to your lender's a lender video or a webinar about how to get fixer-upper financing. You know, instead of sending straight to an application, you take them to some recorded content related to how they can get money for those properties. And that would appear, you know, any kind of mortgage product, which is really cool. I've spent a lot of time thinking about this. Any kind of mortgage product out there, reverse mortgages, first-time buyer, jumbos, move, you know, all the different kinds of products that are in the mortgage world. There's usually some corresponding type of real estate that you could lead with the real estate offer and then transition into that lender type thing. Okay, hope that makes sense. Next thing you can do is almost require your lender to do webinars and add blog posts to your site. So you say, hey, we're going to work together. I need you to help me out here. Can you do one blog post a month? It doesn't need to be that complicated. Just talk about something financing related, and I need you to write me a blog post. Or you could say, hey, we're going to do once a month. We're going to do a live webinar. We're going to invite all your audience to it so they get exposure to me. And then we're going to invite all of my audience to it so they get exposure to you. And we're going to sit together on a Zoom call, and we're going to talk about some specific topic that we come up with. And again, it's as easy as doing like how to get fixer. I'll give you some topics right now. How to get fixer-upper financing, first-time home buyer webinar. That's a basic, easy one. Webinar. How to finance your first spec home. like, investor spec home, how to find land and finance, right? That would be a good one you could do. And there's any number of others. How to finance first, buy and hold, investment property. And you'll see each of these naturally leads into some kind of real estate need. So by delivering the financing-based content, you create the need for a realtor who can navigate this financing and vice versa with the lender. Okay, and then I have here, send at least one monthly mass email that positions your lender and talks about their financing options. Maybe just take some time. I say one monthly, maybe once a week, and just say, hey, just a heads up, everybody. My guy, they've got this awesome new program for first-time buyers. They're using the state grant program, whatever it might be. And just send that to everybody. Say, if you happen to know anybody who could take advantage of this thing that my lender is doing, let us know. And that could be a really nice way to just not only revive dead leads that you have, get them talking again about real estate, but also really directly generate some business for your lender right there. And of course, there are probably 100 other things I haven't mentioned here that I've kind of explored in previous webinars. And I'll make sure that those are mentioned. Those previous webinars are mentioned on the doc here. I have an interview with James B. Piazza at Bond Street. We talked about stuff on there. This is the webinar where we talked with the gentleman from California about property boost, and then I have one or two others that I'll add. They're a little older right there. Cool. So I'm going to anticipate a question, and I just have that in the notes here. How do I set up co-marketing advertising? Because of RESPA, we need to be careful. We've handled this a lot here at Inside Real Estate. Basically, the first step is going to be to just email details about your account, which website you want to, what your account is, and who the lender is with some of their info and their email address, so that our billing department can set up a co-marketing arrangement. And the most common way that people are doing this is through our Google and our Facebook ad products. But there's also probably opportunity to say, hey, we're going to do an enterprise property boost where every property boost we have at the company is going to be run through property boost, but we'd like to split that cost with a lender. I'm pretty sure that that's an arrangement we could work out. I just haven't been involved in one of those specifically, but as I think about it now, that would probably be a really good place to start. So does anybody have any other questions? There is another resource on here, lender-specific voicemail scripts, and we're going to have some other articles and things like that you'll likely encounter as we create more content. You'll encounter all of this stuff through the lender courses in the Learning Portal. So definitely go and check there. Any other questions, suggestions, any other ways that you're co-marketing with KV Core with your lender? Feel free to drop those in the chat right now. Hopefully this was helpful for some of you guys, even if to just create a piece of content here that you can quickly and easily share over to your lender and get them, get them whipped into shape. Say, hey, you're not working this thing. Go watch this webinar. You can do that right there. Giovanni's asking, what's the max sponsor split from lender? I'm pretty sure, but don't hold me to this. I think it needs to be 50-50. Is that right? I think that's the way we do it, at least, to keep everything compliant. But I'm going to leave that to our billing and our compliance people to kind of figure that out with you. But I'm pretty sure it's 50-50. Yeah. So if I don't see any other questions, we can get going. Susan, thanks for being here today. I was expecting people to stump me a little bit, but they didn't hit me that hard. So, but yeah, if you're a lender and you need any help digging in and getting going with the system, definitely check out the Learning Portal course. Hop on that 2 times a week success training course. Try to implement some of these ideas, execute some of these ideas with your lender partners. If you have any questions about some of the things I talked about, we have our Facebook group. It's insiderealestate.com/Facebook group. Go in there and say, hey, I'm going to do a webinar with my partner. Here's what we're doing. Here's our slides. And you can get some really good feedback in there and continue the conversation in there. We did have a question about how do I find a lender to work with? We had an agent co-marketing, I think it was called co-marketing or lender super thread that Annalisa set up back in the day, I think. If you search in a group, there's an agent lender co-marketing super thread that we set up. And basically all it is I think we posted and said, hey, if you're a lender who's looking for agents to work with or vice versa, just mention yourself down below. So if you go to this thread, you'll see a lot of people who've already kind of raised their hands right here. So I'll drop that in the chat and I'll make sure that it ends up in this doc. If you're watching on YouTube, the doc will be in the description. Kind of forgot to mention that. Co-marketing super thread. Here, Let me see if there's any other questions. Yeah, Enrico needs to be your admin to add a lender. It has to happen that way. I'm pretty sure. I'm sure that when they add it, they can attach lenders to specific agents at the company. So your lender doesn't kind of show up on everybody's website. They can be attached specifically to you. And if they don't know how, just tell them to click at the top right and click on lenders. It's pretty easy. They got to click on their name at the top right and then click on lenders, and it's really easy to do. Cool. Okay, great. Erica's asking, how do we get more info about marketing and advertising? Definitely check out InsideRealEstate.com. I'm jumping in the chat /advertising tour. I would share that link with your lender as well. Okay, and then once you've decided on some options that you might want to co-market with your lenders from that link, then reach out to our billing department, or just chat. You can start the conversation by chatting support and just saying, hey, I want to get started with co-marketing, and they'll help get you over to the billing department to work that out. But just look through here and say, yeah, I think I'd like to split the Facebook advertising with a lender. Please send me an agreement to do that. And then they'll send, basically what they do is the lender and the agent will each have separate billing agreements with us so that it stays kind of equal and RESPA compliant. Great, guys. Great questions. Again, I hope this was helpful. We'll be back next week. I think I need to refresh the webinar link, so I need to build a new one. So I'll be dropping that in the link, or we'll be emailing it out to you guys early next week. But we'll be back at the same time, Tuesday at 12 p.m. And Susan's saying they would have hit me up with stumpers if she wasn't here. That's exactly how it works. All right, thanks, Susan. Thanks, everybody, for being on, and we'll talk to you soon. Erica, for your own business, just go to that link, InsideRealEstate.com/advertising tour, and then all of these options are right in the marketplace page. If that was your question, you just go to marketplace inside of KV Core, and you'll encounter all those options, those individual property boosts and all the individual advertising options are in it. Okay, guys, have a great one. We'll see you on Tuesday. Have a great weekend, too. Sell some houses. All right, later.